Hey, just a quick heads up. This podcast is now called Becoming the Wealthy You. I changed the name because I never want you to feel like you have to already be wealthy to be here. I work with women who are doing well in their careers or businesses, but they're not building wealth the way they want to yet. This podcast is here to help you change all of that. If you're ready to start making real progress, you're in the right place. Now, let's get into the episode. You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We are almost at the end of our Skills of Money series, and today's episode is all about one of the most important skills of all, the skill of building wealth. But I'm not coming at it from the usual budgeting, saving, paying off debt, or investing angle. I want to talk about something deeper, the mindset that either keeps you stuck financially or sets you free. Here it is. Are you future focused or past focused with your money? And before we dive in, I want to say this. If today's conversation hits home for you, and you know it's time to turn your finances around for good. Maybe you're in your 40s or 50s or 30s even, and you're just like, I know that I have to do something different in order to break free from the cycle of debt I'm in, from the cycle of overspending that I'm in, or even the cycle of not saving or investing like you want to. You're just like, it's time. I need help. I've been trying to do it on my own, and now I'm ready for support. I'm ready for someone who has expertise to help me figure out why I can't just figure this money thing out, even though I'm smart. Even though I'm successful in my career and in my business, this is just the one area I can't figure out, and I'm ready to get help with that. If that is you, I invite you to book a complimentary financial clarity consultation with me. Like I said, it's completely complimentary, and when we're together, it'll be on Zoom. It'll be just me and you, and we'll look at where you are financially. We'll look at your current financial patterns and habits. We'll look at what you really want for your future and the steps that it's going to take for you to get there. And if we both agree that working together is the best next step to help you to get where you want to be, then I'll tell you how we can start working together. And you can simply go to jermainefoley.com/consult to book yours. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/consult. Okay, so now let's get into our topic for today. And we're going to start off by talking about why it's so important to stop letting your past define what's possible for you in the future. Most people I talk to try to figure out what's possible for them based on what they've done in the past. They look at how much they've been able to save before, whether they've paid off debt and ran it back up again, or if they've been able to stick to a budget or spending plan, what amount of money they've been able to make in their business or career. They look at those things to determine what's possible for them in the future. But here's the truth. Your current financial reality is just the result of past thinking and past behaviors. It's not a prediction. It's not a prophecy. It's just a reflection. So if you look at where you are right now, the amount of debt you have, the amount of savings you have, the amount you have invested in your retirement accounts or brokerage accounts, what you make, all of that is based on past behavior, and it's manifesting in your presence today, right? So if you decided years ago that you were going to start saving in your 401k, and now you have $100,000 in your 401k, you're experiencing the result of your past thinking and behavior of saying, okay, I'm going to put money away. I'm going to get my match. That was your thought. And then you actually signed up and you're getting that match. And now, fast forward to the present, you're experiencing the result of that past thinking and those past actions. Okay? So whatever you're experiencing right now is literally the manifestation of what you did and thought back in the past. So if you keep looking to the past, you're just going to keep creating more of what you already have, because that's why you're creating it today, because of things you did in the past. If you're constantly looking to the past, that's what you're going to keep creating. So instead of asking, can I do this based on, my past behaviors, instead of looking back like, I don't know if I can really get out of debt because every time I tried in the past, I failed. I don't really know if I can do a spending plan because I tried before and I just couldn't do it. Instead of thinking that way, I want you to start asking these types of questions. Who do I want to become financially, and what would she do today? So let go of the past. Just let it go. Love it for how it shaped you, right? There are lessons that we can learn from the past. We have lots of examples we can learn from, but we do not have to keep carrying our past into our present and into our future. But when we constantly think about it, when we constantly look to it as evidence of what we can do and what we can become, then all we're doing is just bringing it into the future. And that means we're past focused instead of being future focused. So again, let's love the past and let's take all the lessons that we need from it, that we can learn from. Let's bring them forward and then decide that it's time to be future focused and to start dreaming about what we actually want and leaving the past in the past. And listen, if you've been defining yourself by thoughts like, I've always been bad with money, or I just can't seem to save, that's exactly what we will work on during your financial clarity call. It's not just about spreadsheets, you all. Getting your finances in order is not about another app or a budgeting system. It is about getting clear on the mindsets, the thought processes, and the behaviors and the patterns and the habits that have kept you stuck all these years, getting to the root cause of those. And then we can start coming up with the system to use, right? If you like spreadsheets, go for it. If you want an app, go for it. If you want to use pen and paper, go for it. But none of that really matters until you get to the root causes of why you can't save, why you feel stuck financially, why you find yourself stuck in the cycle of overspending and credit card debt, why your investments are barely growing, right? So in order to get to the root causes of all of that, we have to unpack some of the thoughts and feelings that you're having. And those things are what's driving your behaviors. So all you got to do is go to jermainefoley.com/consult to book yours, and we will get on Zoom and figure out, like I said, where you are, where you want to go. And if I can help you to get there, I will tell you how we can get started together. Okay, so we talked about the past. Let's bring it into the present now. The thoughts you're thinking right now, the feelings you're reacting to right now, the choices you're making with money right now, those are writing the script for your future wealth. This is why being future focused is so powerful. It's such a powerful wealth building skill. Think of it this way. Your future debt, your future savings, your future net worth, it's all being built by what you're doing today. So all your power is in the right now, in the present moment. So you've got to start behaving like your future wealthy self now, even if you don't feel like her yet. One of the most powerful things I do with my clients is ask them to write down the top 5 financial outcomes they want. Not surface level goals, but real outcomes. Like, I want to be completely debt free. I want to have $1 million saved. I want to travel without guilt. I want to never rely on credit cards again. Then we look at how they're actually spending their time, their money, and their energy today, and whether any of it aligns with those outcomes. Now, you'd be surprised how often it doesn't. A lot of us, we say what we want, but when we look at our behaviors, when we look at how we spend our money, when we look at how we avoid our money, it's evident that we're not living in alignment with our true desires, right? We say we want wealth, but most of our energy is going to things that keep us distracted. We don't spend time with our money. We actually avoid our money. We are doing a lot of impulse purchases, and none of those things will bring you closer to the financial outcomes you say you really want. Now, you can do this exercise too. Here's how it works. Just write down your 5 big outcomes you want in life, financial outcomes. And then just look at last week's calendar and bank statement, or you can do it for a 30-day period. Does your behaviors align with someone who wants to have 10, 20, or 30K in savings? Does it align with someone who wants to be credit card debt free? Does it align with someone who wants to be a millionaire when they retire, or maybe even before retirement? Because that's possible too. Are you really building the future that you say you want? That is such a powerful exercise for all of us to do. Is to look at what we want and if our behaviors actually align with getting you there. One of the things you can even ask yourself when you're in the present moment, especially when you're about to do something financially, you can ask, will this move me towards my goals or push me further away from my goals? So if you have a goal to become a millionaire and you have a spending plan that you create every month, you give yourself spending money that you can spend however you want. And if you stay within that amount, let's say you go shopping and you're at Nordstrom's and you're within your amount, let's say, you're about to spend $100 and that's well within the allotment that you've given yourself, then that question will be, yes, I am spending in a way that is going to move me towards my goals because I'm not overspending. I'm not spending something I wasn't planning to spend. But on the other hand, let's say that same situation was the case and you spent all your spending money for the time period and you're about to spend $200. The question will still remain and the answer will be, actually, this is going to move me further away because I'm spending outside of my goals. I'm spending outside of what I said I was going to do. So that's a really good exercise that you all can take and really reflect on to see if you're living in alignment with what you truly want. Okay, so here's the next part that I want to offer you. Focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Some of us have no idea what we really want, so that's why the exercise I gave you just a few seconds ago is going to be so powerful for you. But we can list what we don't want in 2 seconds. But when we ask ourselves what we want, sometimes we freeze. When I work with my clients and I ask them what they want, it's like it's a foreign question, one that they've never considered before, and sometimes we can get a little stuck. So I give them this challenge. Write down a list of 50 things you want. Big things, little things, practical things. Dream big. And sometimes they struggle because we've trained our brains to focus on what we don't want instead of what we want. And we began to think that dreaming is frivolous, that it's not responsible. But here's the truth. Your wants are super important. And if you focus on them, you'll make them come to pass. But when we focus on what we don't want, I don't want debt. I don't want to feel deprived. I don't want. Your attention is actually going towards the things you don't want. But a powerful pivot is to focus on what you want. So if you're like, I don't want debt. Okay, you don't want debt, but what do you want? I want to be debt free. Okay, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, fine. You don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. What do you want? I want to forget it's payday. I want to have plenty of money in savings. Do you see how much more energizing it is to actually focus on what you want instead of what you don't want? Here's an example I sometimes use with my clients. I always say, listen, there's 2 sides to everything. Think of a battery. There's the positive charge and the negative charge. Our brains are automatically wired to focus on the negative side of everything, what you don't want. That's our default thing because our brains are trained to keep us safe. And if you focus on the danger, if you focus on the things that could go wrong, then it's very likely that you'll stay out of trouble. But it actually backfires because what you focus on expands. So we really want to start thinking about that positive charge, the positive side of the battery, because everything has 2 sides, a side that we want and a side that we don't want. And so another powerful thing for us to start doing is focusing on what we actually want. In this case is we want to build wealth. We want to have $10, $20, $30, $40,000 in liquid savings in a high yield savings account to put a cushion between us and life because we know that life is going to happen, right? We want to have control over our credit cards. We want to be able to leverage them. We want to be able to max out our 401ks and IRAs IRAs, and put even more money in our brokerage accounts. We want to do all of those things, but we find ourselves too often focusing on what we don't want, and that is something that is keeping you to repeat the past over and over again. And here's a final concept I'll share with you. I want you to know no matter how old you are, you likely have decades ahead of you. Sometimes we shame ourselves because we maybe spent our 20s and our 30s, maybe even some of us our 40s, not really focusing on our finances. And we beat ourselves up. But let's say you're 50 or in your 40s, you still have a lot of time ahead of you. Some of us are going to live into our 90s and into even 100. I was at a brunch the other day for Mother's Day, and there was a woman there who looked amazing. She was not on a walker. She was not in a wheelchair. She had on her beautiful outfit, and she was over 100 years old, you all. And she was enjoying that brunch just like I was. So I want you to know that you have so much time ahead of you. And so no looking to the past and beating yourself up. Look to the future, because the future is yours for the taking. The future is yours to write, but it will look exactly like your past if you look to the past to determine what you can do in the future. Your future is unwritten. The things you can do in the future are mind-blowing, but only if you let yourself begin to dream and if you focus on what you want and stop focusing on what you don't want. So the skill of building wealth isn't just about what you do with your money. It's about how you think about your future. Your past does not determine your potential. Your money mistakes do not disqualify you from wealth. But here's what I will say. Your current thinking and habits do determine what you'll experience next. So choose to think like your future wealthy self. Spend, save, and show up like her now. And if you want help seeing what's possible for you and mapping out the first few steps, don't do it alone. Book your financial clarity consultation. Again, all you have to do is go to jermainefoley.com/consult. That's Jermaine with the G, foley.com/consult. We'll look at your money patterns, your goals, and behaviors and habits that need to change. It's one conversation that can literally change everything, especially if you're ready for what comes after that. Okay? You've got this, and I've got you, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Wait, before you go, have you checked out my free class? It's all about the steps you need to take if you want to build wealth without going on a strict budget. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/wealth class. That's Jermaine with a G, foley.com/wealth class. See you in there.